The Great Lakes are often overlooked as a vacation choice, but there's at least two good reasons you need to have this on your radar. First, people from all over the world flock to this region for the natural beauty, wildlife spotting, and urban experiences in both the United States and Canada. Second, if you're unsure as to whether an expedition-style cruise is right for you, this is a great way to check it out without flying to the other side of the planet. I'm Bob Bradley from the Pampered Cruiser, and if you'd like to book a cruise to the Great Lakes, or really any other river, small ship, or expedition cruise, then we'd love to help you out. We know the products and the destinations very well, and we can always get you additional amenities not available on direct bookings. Also, click on the link below to sign up for our free weekly email newsletter that features travel tips, informative articles, and exclusive offers delivered straight to your email box every Friday. There are very few operators of multi-day Great Lakes cruises. We traveled with Viking, who have a regular presence on the Great Lakes, and there's one or two other operators as well. Viking uses its expedition ships, Octantis and Polaris, on the Great Lakes that hold just 378 guests. For a closer look at these ships, see our ship tour video. The link is in the notes below. Our cruise started in Toronto, one of the most diverse cities in the world, not only for the people that live and visit there, but also for restaurants, entertainment, and things to do. If you've not been previously, you may want to spend a day or two pre or post cruise to take in the international culinary and entertainment scene, visit the Hockey Hall of Fame, or to appreciate the views from the CN Tower, the tallest freestanding structure in the Americas. Shortly after boarding the ship, we made the journey across Lake Ontario to enter the Welland Canal. Who says you have to go to Europe to do a river cruise to experience canals and locks? The Welland Canal between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario allows ship traffic to bypass Niagara Falls and connects the Great Lakes to the St. Lawrence Seaway and ultimately to the Atlantic Ocean. About 40 billion tons of cargo pass through this canal every year. The Lake Erie end of the canal is about 99 meters taller than the Lake Ontario end, or about a football field in vertical equivalent. There are 8 locks between Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, with only inches to spare on each side of Viking Polaris. We're in the canal for nearly 11 hours, so there's lots of time to marvel at this feat of engineering. Finally, we arrive at Port Colborne, a charming Ontario small town with our jumping off point for Niagara Falls. It's early summer and the weather is great, which means two things. First, the falls were extraordinarily beautiful, and second, extraordinarily crowded. After spending the night traversing the shore of Lake Erie, we arrive at Canada's southernmost point at Point Pelee National Park. It's a bright day with warm weather, so we're able to fully enjoy this natural paradise. Viking put together a beach barbecue for us with Polaris anchored a short distance offshore. This is our first experience using the Zodiacs for transportation to get ashore, but it all goes fairly easily. In the afternoon, we're given the opportunity to do a kayaking excursion in Lake Erie off the shore of Point Pelee. Exploring in sea kayaks is a typical activity for an expedition cruise, and you don't need to worry if you don't have much experience. You'll practice getting in and out of the kayak when you're still on board the ship, and you're well supervised once you're on the water, so it's pretty hard to get into trouble. All you have to do is enjoy being outside. It's not often you travel north to go from Canada to the United States, but that's what we did today as we arrived in Detroit. The purpose of the visit here is to visit the Ford Museum in Dearborn. You don't need to be a hardcore car enthusiast to get a lot out of this expansive museum. The focus here is certainly on cars and transportation, but it's as much a museum on American history as anything else. Upon leaving Detroit, we carry on across Lake St. Clair and then follow the US-Canada border along the St. Clair River until getting spit out into Lake Huron. And if you're counting, that's 3 days and 3 Great Lakes. From Michigan's largest city to one of its more remote small towns, our next stop is Alpena, Michigan. Here we learn about the history of shipwrecks on the Great Lakes and explore them by glass-bottom boat. Back ashore, we make a visit to the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary and Great Lakes Maritime Heritage Center. For those looking for something a little different, the main street in Alpena has some quirky little galleries and an active craft brewery scene. Most people have heard of Macken Island, Michigan, but just in case, this is the island situated in Lake Huron between the upper and lower peninsulas in the state of Michigan. Cars were banned here in 1901, and since then, people have been getting around by horseback or by bicycle. These are also the main modes of transport for visitors to Macken Island today. Most of the Viking guests ended up on a horse and buggy ride up to the Grand Hotel, which is one of the default must-do things on Macken Island. We also had the opportunity to explore the island by bicycle. It's 8 miles of flat paved road all the way around the island and all along the seashore. Whether you explore by bike or by horse, there's lots of places to walk and shop for local goods or to buy the famous Macken Island fudge. Milwaukee is the starting or ending point for many Great Lakes cruises, but there's plenty here to discover that is in this often overlooked Midwest city. The city's roots as a brewery town are on display everywhere, and there's lots of public space to enjoy the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan. Viking and the few other operators on the Great Lakes also call in at ports that we didn't visit. Cleveland, Algoma, Wisconsin, Sault Ste. Marie, and Duluth are visited on longer itineraries. On the Canadian side, you can also visit Fathom 5 National Marine Park, Killarney, Fraser Bay, Thunder Bay, Ontario, and Silver Islet. The submarines on board Viking, Octantis, and Polaris are only permitted to operate on the Canadian side, so if getting under the water is a priority for you, you'll need to choose an itinerary that plans a port stop in Fathom 5 Marine Park or Thunder Bay, Ontario. If you'd like even more detail about how a Viking expedition cruise is different than a regular Viking ocean cruise, see our video that addresses that question. The link is in the notes below. If you enjoyed this video, then give us a thumbs up, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to book a cruise on the Great Lakes, or really any other river expedition or small ship ocean cruise, then we'd love to help you out. Here's our contact information, and it's also included in the notes below. Thanks for watching.